200 players build and simulate civilization on a massive Minecraft island. In this epic social experiment, we have 200 Minecraft players scattered randomly on 4 massive pieces of land, with each of the biomes having its own unique features. Firstly, we have the Plains region, followed by the deadly desert region where food shortage is a major problem. Then we have the Snow region, known for its distinctive and serene white color and wonderful landscapes. And finally, the lush jungle region, when there's no shortage of food and one of the best regions to start with. The players were given no assistance or help, and the only thing that was known to the players was that if they died, they would perish forever and never return. It was solely up to the players to accumulate resources, elect a king, develop a civilization, and, if necessary, go to war, kill their enemies, and cement their legacies for their nation. The events that unfolded throughout this experiment created an incredibly insane plotline. So grab your snacks and relax to see this epic social experiment that you do not want to miss. I present the States experiment to you. Before we jump into the video, make sure you have smashed the subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Day 1 was spent on exploration and colonization, which can be described as the age of exploration. The individuals investigated their various islands for suitable areas to set up camp. Those on the snow and desert islands quickly understood that wood would be a scarce material due to the scarcity of trees, and realized that, due to the challenging environment, they would need to emphasize farming early in order to feed the entire population. So they started to build farms in a rapid phase. Meanwhile, the Plains and Jungle Legions had little trouble obtaining both food and timber, allowing their civilizations to expand more swiftly. The people of the Jungle Legion choose to band together and make their home on the forest's most active volcano, making them the first to establish their permanent kingdom on the server. On the other hand, a player named Iwaj led the Plains Island from the top of a mountain. Some citizens who did not like the leadership of Iwash defected and moved to a small village, which was now ruled by a player named SmileJump. SmileJump had already been threatened with death if he dared to oppose Iwaj's reign on the Plain States. The Desert Plain, meantime, had 2 coexisting factions: the Sultanate, which was governed by the Great Sultan storming Hell, and the Amazon, which was headed by a number of leaders, the main leader being Zamta. And with this, Day 1 comes to an end. On the second day, the inhabitants of the Jungle Legion agreed to hold on an election in which 2 candidates competed. The manifesto of 9209 was to create a government with citizen rights, whereas the other candidate, Magic Mikey, wanted to be a dictator who executed everyone who dared to challenge his authority. As we know, 9209 won the election, but instead of accepting the loss, Magic Mikey and his followers fled the volcano to establish their own society. At the end of the day, there was an accidental death, more like a suicide. When one of the players tried to boat clutch, he failed miserably and was banished from the world. The third day was an interesting day, as it offered obstacles for practically all of the civilizations. When the Sultanate's ex-member Guardian Nova emerged to seek vengeance after being thrown out of the Sultanate, Solev, on the other hand, was growing immensely wealthy and influential, making him one of the server's most prominent leaders.
He's coming back, Something's about to go down.
Solev had recently carried out another execution of a Snow member accused of murdering 2 other Snow Tainted members, and some of the Snow State members were concerned that Solev was gaining too much authority. On day 4, finally, the Cold War between 9209's crew and Mikey's team erupted rapidly, when one of the volcanic men who were chasing 3 hens through the bush. When Mikey saw those chickens, he slaughtered them as he was hungry. The next day, Mikey declared war on 9209 and prepared an attack on the volcano in order to ultimately become the dictator of the Jungle State. Mikey was defeated brutally and killed in the battle, which saw the victory of 9209. The triumph in the Jungle Civil War for 9209 was marked by Mikey's soldiers scattering into the woods and surrendering. The following day, a huge incident occurred when Nova Guardian, the previous Chaos Maker, returned to kill the Sultanate's leader. But this allowed the other desert faction Amazon to demonstrate their military might be hunting down and killing Guardian Nova to avenge the death of Storming Hell. They got him. A funeral was held, and Arvanine was named the new leader, which saw the alliance between the Amazon and the Sultanate grow stronger than ever. On day 6, the death of the Sultan was followed by several days of peace, during which the state worked on repairing and rebuilding its nation from where it had left off. The next day, we witnessed the great migration of the Jungle Statesmen, who decided to migrate to a new location for a fresh and hopeful beginning. The fishing merchant of the Jungle Legacy had now joined in the rest of the jungle community and suggested that they move to where his home used to be, and everyone was happy to do so. The era of jungle invention has begun with the jungle citizens being able to develop new items like the crazy sound machine, monuments, and finally the lag machine by placing a lot of boats. The jungle civilization was also constructing a large tower, but refused to reveal what it was, claiming instead that it was a wooden fence, despite the fact that it's plainly not a wooden fence. While the inhabitants of the jungle were having a good time, the rest of the political world was not so secure. Solev was a popular leader among the people of the Snow State with high approval ratings. However, not everyone liked him, and one such person was Kuzamuki, who was a geopolitical expert who wanted to remove Solev from power. His plan was to make a strategic alliance with the other Legion leaders and drive Solev out of the Snow Legion. But he failed miserably and was killed by Solev. On day 9, we saw another assassination take place in the Plains region, where the leader of the Plains, Iwaj, was killed by the assassin in the second attempt by Hikorikage. This was commissioned by both Solev and Smile Jump, who did not like Iwaj because he wanted to kill both of them. The members of the Smile Jump team quickly escaped to the Snow Kingdom of Solev. The next day, after Smile Jump's village was plundered and burned to the ground, the Plain States' new leader, Lord of Lightning, was almost immediately slain by another Plain member, creating chaos in the Plains region. Some members of the Plains fled the island to seek asylum in other states. On the international scene, two main alliances were formed: the United Sands, headed by Zomta, and the Solev Union, led by Solev. Hitorikage killed the infiltrator in order to prove his loyalty to Solev, which was followed by a ceremony promoting Hitorikage to a senior officer position in the Snow States. This ceremony was a direct insult to the desert factions, as their leader, Arvanine, was exiled and a player named Bojumenos was appointed as the new sultan. Later, Zomta held votes with the authorities, and they voted in favor of launching a preemptive strike on the Snow States, and the United Sands declared war on the Solev Union. The United Sands prepared for the Great Global War. Their battle strategy was simple: surround the Snow Island, reach the center, and kill Solev in order to rid the world of tyranny and achieve world peace. Zomta and the United Sands reached the Snow Island and ordered their secret spies to create havoc from within. This turned out to be a master plan and forced Solev and his great remaining soldiers to flee the jungle state. Legacy was one to reach Solev and lead him to the place where the rest of the jungle members were hiding. And that place, which had been under construction for many days, was now completed, and it was the wooden fence. After the United Sands lost several men, they devised a new strategy. Instead of scaling the tower, they chose to construct above it, thereby solving the wooden fence riddle. Solev 9209 and the majority of their fighters were killed. The surviving soldiers fled the tower and dispersed across the jungle. The United Sands had defeated the Solev Union, and the war had come to an end. People from the United Sands went home to celebrate their triumph, and they collaborated to enlarge their communities and create some amazing structures. Eventually, many of the former snow and jungle citizens met up and created a secret jungle enclosure where they could all peacefully live. They grieved over the friends that they lost in the Great War, but at the same time, they celebrated the lives of their friends who'd perished. And with this, the epic experiment came to an end. Yeah, that's all for today's episode. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you're looking for more interesting content, then hit the subscribe button for future updates.